We've seen the scrims, we can try and guesstimate all day, but for all we know, we could have hot drops straight off the bat.
And that's what I love about these first couple of rounds of events. Sometimes it can be a little chill where everybody's just trying to figure out what's going on. But this is a tempo-setting game because now everybody's going to get a little bit of extra space on the point boards, or we might actually have to see them trying to catch back up onto it. So naturally, everybody's going to be a little bit calm off the get-go, but nobody knows how this could lay out. We can see there is a clump of people going right over Chumasera right now. That looks like that's Japan and Turkey. Naturally, we also have a couple of teams that are going to be looking for buying for potentially Picado back over towards the north. I wouldn't be surprised if we see San Martin get a little bit of attention as well.
The road to being crowned the Nations Cup 2019 champion starts now. Remember, we are only 3 days of this competition. There is only 15 games. If you muck this up early on and you go down in 16th, you're losing points early. Initial, we said this, contact could be made potential. It is. Japan and Turkey, they meet. They're on the far side, down to the south, more towards the Kumasiri side. You have the high side, you have the low side. At the moment, I think the initial one might be Mur here.
Japan's got the guns. You can see they're just on the hunt. Turkey is going to be the first blood of this event. But I think everybody else from Turkey is already on the run, trying to separate out as much as they can.
If I'm not mistaken, this did actually happen, the same scenario in the scrims. Japan took the high side, Turkey got the low, and they were forced down. They had to back out from this.
Oh, that
screen,
circle.
I'm just seeing...
Look at that. That is far up towards the northeast. Look at the cluster of the teams. Everybody jumped really, really early, so that means it's going to be some very messy rotations coming into play.
Okay, we do have the fight down in the bottom left. We will keep tabs on it, but something I want to touch on with that circle. Who's in the central point? It's going to be Germany. And
With
guess what? Germany is a full squad, and that's where they usually go.
Oh, my God. That is going to make it so rough for so many of these teams that are going to be rotating through. We can see that it's been a little bit of an interesting start for everybody, but a lot of these teams have managed to carve out their own specific location. Looking back over at Thailand right now, we're talking about Duckmans. This guy put on a show, but Minoru is a guy we have got to keep an eye on as well. That guy is absolutely fire right now.
We'll have a quick discussion about where teams are. We can see the map, so we'll just try and break this one down further. You saw that initial contact was made. Japan, Turkey around just above Kumasira side, where the silos are. Down below them, we do see, or at least I can see on the map, Finstrike is lurking. We call them Finstrike. It's the Windstrike meme, but it's actually Finland. We'll go with that one. We'll keep going with the countries just in case you don't watch the PL, you don't know how things go down. But Finland is lurking in the distance. Picado, it has been taken over by Korea. They are plumb center. They're happy for now. Los Leones, Argentina. They've got a good old foothold inside that town. No one's really going to do much in there because that'll be locked down. But if you do want to rotate all the way down in the south, if you want to take that coastal road, you have to be very, very careful. There are two teams side by side, Matrim. We see Russia and we see China. They're causing a bit of a blockade. It looks like USA, from my angle, are actually taking the western side, so they'll avoid that. But this is the scenario that I was just speaking about.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a setup. You can see that Kimba's taking a little bit of damage back on this. China feels like they're feeling pretty aggressive about this. They have a nice angle. Godby's up to the side of it. But Summer's just got a bead right back over on Kimba, and that's going to be a easy down coming up for Summer.
He had a bullet in the side of the helmet. You could see the mark, and he finds a second one. Kemba goes down. That should be initial follow-up. 1 point moves to China. They will claim the first scalp all the way down to the south. So now Russia, I can see them just backing off. They have to be very careful, though, because as they rotate, I do see Chinese Taipei lingering in the distance. So it's provided they're careful on that route, they will pretty survive this one. But with 3 players, it's going to be difficult, because that circle is going to be a hell of a traverse upwards.
I mean, this area in general can just be kind of messy, depending on how you have to make your ways through it. Naturally, we do have Germany, we're talking about very centered up, but looks like we've got Canada on the move right next to Basel. Is he going to find the angle for it? Going to take a couple of shots, but not going to connect with a lot. That's going to get a little bit of damage onto the vehicle, but looks like Maluk is going to make it back off onto the hills. You can see Moody immediately stopped on that and is going to reposition around.
The call didn't come through quick enough. Can't have heard the vehicle just in time, otherwise he would have moved onto that roadside. The 16, yes, it's not a full automatic AR, so you're always going to have a difficult one. It does kick like a donkey at times when you're spraying away with it, but certainly a warning comes through from Maluk. Gets away with his life. Didn't even think they were tagging it, to be honest, so happy days for now. El Pozo, you can see just on the western side, that's where USA will take their route. They'll go up to the north, maybe potentially kick it in around La Copa area and punch it in potentially again somewhere around Tornio Ada. You see Cruz de Val as well. You do have that hillside that they could, which will provide them cover. Water treatment will be hot. People have to be careful of this. If you're going to make an entry point in the western side of that circle, you will have several teams. Team Great Britain, they're plumb center of that scenario which I was speaking about. Korea just below them. Thailand's there as well, and so is Australia around the water treatment. It depends what Australia do. If they move and play border control, then they will catch these teams that are rotating more towards the northern side of the circle.
We've got Canada that's kind of encroaching back over next to where we can see Vietnam did make the stop over for it. Luke is up on the high ground from this, looking back down. It looks like he fed the information over. So we have Canada kind of creating a line, looking back over towards 2 members of Vietnam. The other 2 members look like they're doing a little bit of a rotation out around and might be creeping up back behind the other side of Canada.
Cautiously for now. I've already been warned. More shots coming through onto Drassel. I mean, it's dangerous because you are downwind of this fight and there are only 2 men. At 50% your capacity, you are going to be taking a fight on a deficit side.
And it's right in the center, and there's going to be so many teams rotating through.
The problem is Canada have problems of their own. He's seen that. He definitely saw that the grenade was transitioned through. They're going to start to pull back. I think Silzen's saying, okay, we don't want nothing to do with this. We'll just force ourselves back. So Canada holds its ground. They've got 2 teams there at either side. And that's what they have to be careful of on the next rotation. Learn where these people are. Make sure they keep a track of them. Just don't let them wander away and hide away. Because then when you move forward off the back of this transition, you could be running into an open trap. Pio.
He's in a, looks like he realized he was in a little bit of trouble. Reels did have an angle back over for it. So Pio's just going to get back out of there. And it feels like everybody's got a really good amount of information gathering at this stage.
Oh my.
Michael takes a couple of shots. Looks like he regrets that real quick.
There was a warning shot that came through from Reels, but as you mentioned, Michael did get a warning one back. The pan potentially could have saved him. Oh, China again with a second one. This time it's on to Japan. So Japan, the team that picked up the first frag, they do lose a player. Gabba goes down at December 12th. He finds one. SLR, bullet to the brain, confirms it. Job done. 1 point to them. China at the moment, let's have a look at their position on the map. Where are they? Okay, so they're quite far, to be fair.
Yeah,
Turkey, Brazil, Russia. There are so many teams still outside the circle up against the blue.
I mean, this could be very, very messy for a couple of these guys. Brazil looked like they were
running into
going up towards the north. This is going to get really messy really quickly. Turkey is not taking any shots right now. I think that they're aware that they have a couple of teams around them, and it's really risky. No! Your vehicle's running off on you, man.
Well,
Beautiful Death's just watching it roll away. Gonna run right over there next to the Brazil.
If he wasn't going to shoot at the Matrim and give away his position, at least the car will now. He's given up the game. I suppose it could be just a 9,000 IQ player, which gives him some defense. He will watch them in the distance.
See, it looks like 4 players, right? Whenever the vehicle's rolling down and there's a guy walking, see, it's 2 guys, not just one that's going to take those shots back over there.
Sixmo switches. Switch. I love it.
Oh, man, this is a real aggressive early game. I mean, no surprise coming out from China. These guys are known for very aggressive early games.
We have seen in PL, it was actually Uber, funnily enough, onto Scoom, the seat switch was just disgusting. Drive by outside of the passenger with an AR, you love to see it. Does go for the style points, I'll give you that. Why not? A doozy. In the distance, do see the vehicle feeding all this information back.
This is in the blue.
Just about to touch on that. I'm assuming you're wondering why, and I am too. But then again, if they are fighting off the back of losing a player quite early on, you're always going to be feeling it. It does a lot to your mental stability, and you want to let players maybe go central of this circle first. This circle is prone to be the biggest hardship. Well, I say you don't really know prone to be the biggest, but if there is going to be a massive hardship, it's in this initial one. Sometimes going central can be your downfall, because once you're trying to get out the middle of the pack, if you do have to go to the edge, then you have so many teams just stacked up on a brick wall in front of you.
But the problem with it is if the circle does go center, now you have nowhere to go because everybody is just set and locked into position. You can see Finland's doing a little drive-by next to USA. This is way up to the north, but it's still back down to the south. Looks like Russia and China did finally manage to separate out a little bit. Japan's making their way into the circle as well. And there is that duo up center that we were talking about. I gotta say, this is not looking too comfortable for Russia or China.
Yeah, this is the main issue now. What side of the map are you on? How do you make an entry point here? Because this will be a border protected circle. The north looking quite good, but certainly open. It's not without its own downfall. If you do come in through Thierry Bronco, which I'm already seeing Jempty scouting that out. You would expect to see Jempty. Does it face plant Team Liquid? I'm thinking old times. I'm seeing him. I'm seeing him with Mexi these days, so it's just rolling back the years a little bit there. Either way, he is the scout. He likes to go off and do his own thing, call out a position, and certainly a man who can when it comes to finding a team, fighting up against them. He can take his own battles and pick them if needed, but he will find a place for the rest of Finland to come down and follow. Cruz de Val still holds USA just to the left-hand side. Turkey, Japan, and China. Still Russia as well. Nowhere near the circle.
One thing I want to point out is we do see Korea playing right against the edge of the circle right now. Looks like they were potentially trying to hunt down a couple of kills, trying to get something off of rotation. But, I mean, with the way we have everything set up, everybody is trying to rotate fairly late. Usually in competitive PUBG, we see a lot of very early rotations. It feels like everybody is still just trying to get the measure of the map and figure out where everybody's going. Finally, Germany is regrouping because they've been in control of this location for quite a while, now making their way back down around El Alza.
Yeah, the regroup here for Germany will be good for the simple fact they're in a 2-1-1 split. So if anyone pulls up on these priority compounds that they're holding, they could just... You okay, Chris?
Well, you say that, but I mean, they got Finland coming up back behind them, and that's going to be a little bit dangerous. But hey, look, China finally made it out of the blue.
That's the reason they're pulling away from El Azhar, to be fair. I suppose in case it does hatch it to the side, you don't want to get locked inside that city.
Oh no, Japan.
And they do have the 2-1-1, which I suppose it gives them more options if they do want to regroup at a different location, or even just for a point of moving once the circle does shift. USA's in, as you mentioned. Turkey is in the next compound that we will see China and Japan. We could have a three-way here, Matrim. We've got one team directly in front of them. They head towards Turkey's compound. This could be dangerous. This will also give the information to Team GBR. Great Britain is on the edge of this circle where all these teams are going to make an end. They're actually gatekeeping the road. This could be some points for Great Britain should these teams be actually floodgating towards them.
The problem with it is Japan is actually in the buggy right now. I was going to say, that is just dangerous, man. Being on the back of that thing and running through two different teams, now making their way back over next to Great Britain. We see Dev trying to make around the side of that. I think he's going to be on the other side of that rock, but I think Turkey still has an angle back for this. But you can see it's been a little bit of a shift. It's getting a little bit violent. Japan takes one loss inside that. That's super dangerous. Turkey still looking back over towards China.
It's a rather unorthodox position to be fair. You want to expect Turkey to be in a compound, basically camping it down while the blue is on the back. So it is rather unorthodox, but it has worked, and it's picked him up a point or two, I believe. Two indeed, a beautiful death, and Ira one apiece. I suppose that's better off as well, because actually they've got some slight revenge there onto Japan, because they were the ones that got the initial frag on them and took their player away from them. Depp, the last man standing.
I mean, a little bit of vengeance, down to one guy now, and so now Depp has just got the entirety of his country's pride on his back. And you can see there's just people driving around. This is so nerve-wracking. He's going to go for the shots back over towards Cairo, and that's just going to draw a lot of attention. Are we going to see them stop? Look at this. That's a lot of damage back over towards Depp, and that's going to be it. Japan is the first team out.
It's a questionable play. I'm stunned he went for that. In a one versus any scenario, when you're on your own like that, you want to be playing for placement. Why go for them? They're all happily accept a battle. You're just going to go for the refrag. They're all close together. If you are going to go for that scenario and try and pick up one individual player, then maybe go for the last one and not the one that's going to keep coming forward, because he has support. They accept the challenge. They get out the car. And unfortunately, Japan, they are gone. 16th place game number one. Turkey do make it in. Great Britain along the roadside. And while that was all going down the circle, it hard shifted to the west.
Couple of shots going back down next to Argentina. As they're taking a little bit of damage, but I think he's going to make it back behind that. Yep, so should be perfectly comfortable there. So these are just hello bullets at this point. I don't see any downs coming out from it. But one thing to note is not inside the circle. So Brazil is actually posted up inside of it, so it has to keep an eye on it.
Matchroom, we've just seen on the map. It looks like Australia has turned up USA. We've already seen the grenades cycling through the hands of the players. The bombardment does begin. This is a compound fight. All four players up on both sides, respectively.
And I love this. We haven't had a chance to really talk about Australia, but these guys have been on a roll lately. This is a very strong team in and of itself. So USA looking back over towards Australia, it looks like everything's kind of calmed down for a second.
Look, Matt, you're from the USA side. Talk to me about these individual players. Who kind of takes point? Who's your sniper? Who's your marksman? What are you looking from these individuals?
It's really hard to say in this configuration because we have seen Valiate and Zampa both kind of pull off these really interesting flank positions before. So with this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see, I can see Zampa coming back into the vehicle off the side of this. Looks like he was trying to go for an offsides position, but also Sharky's been known for that. So at what point, whenever you have Team USA that's known for a whole bunch of flankers, who's kind of the one guy that stays in the center? I'm venturing to say it's probably going to be Baja that's posted up over there. But look at this. We also have Finland looking back over next to China, and that could be a very interesting fight to get started up.
China caught off guard ever so slightly in a 2-2 split. There is a compound in front of them, a priority one for that, especially with this kind of circle. They could take residency in, but they have to regroup, which they are doing. Get the resources together. Uber.
Gotta be super careful.
Just pulled up here. Nade up and over. It's ticked. It's cooked. Two are there as well, but they go too fast. Silzen without that damage. About 40% HP. The second one falls through. They think they've gone down to the south. He's not. He's further up close and personal.
I really love that. You can tell Silzen had an idea on where these grenades were going to go, went ahead and abandoned, started making his way up, taking a couple of shots back to the side of this, but now out inside the blue, this big damage is going to start to stack up. Russia's trying to get a couple of shots back over. You can see the grenades are prepped, but they're going to bounce very interestingly.
Matt, I'm really sorry I have to break you off. Aduzi's behind them. Aduzi is right behind them on the opposing side of the road. They've no idea. If he gets over in time, he's quite split from the rest of the pack, but if he gets here in time, he can pick up some big points.
Uba's going for the spray back over on Argentina. At least two of their members managed to make it away. Are we going to see this next vehicle make it through? A couple of shots going to go through, and it's going to be Brazil that actually saves Argentina, getting a couple of shots back over towards it.
That's in the graveyard. They're third party in this one. The circle's been favorable to them. It does shift more towards the southeast. Graveyard's still in. Everywhere else kind of open. Thailand, they are looking happy. Not quite center of the map, but damn near it. Uba goes down to the blue. That was a knock that came through Brazil. Argentina further afield. Russia, my pick of the tournament is gone. 15th place for them. Rather unfortunate. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Argentina from behind, Brazil in front. Now, the circle, it condenses. Luke 12. Unfortunately, Australia's dream machine, the man, the myth, the legend, has fallen to Miraku. He's been confirmed and cleaned up. Team GBR, they're just teetering on the edge of the circle. Everyone else, unfortunately, including Australia, is getting ahead of the game in front of them.
Finland does manage to make it back through Great Britain and gets into a nice position, but they do have Australia next to them. We still have 54 people alive at this stage of the game, and you can see there's not a lot of space to work with. Finland looks like they might be in a little bit of trouble, as at least two different teams have angles to look back over towards them, and they have Germany back down the hillside that might look back around here, go for a couple of shots. So now, you know, at this stage of the game, when you're committing to Shack Life, you've got some problems ahead of you.
Yeah, this is not good.
Yeah, man
if another
himself,
team,
Duckman's looking back down that angle too.
My worry is that if another team get wind of this, the fact that it's a hop, skip, and a jump is Germany. One player just runs across and posts a grenade in that building. They're all gone. Zampa. Leo finds him and instas him. That's a flush and a half. Bye-bye, Zampa. 1 point picked up. Chinese Taipei. Leo, thank you very much. Strassel and the rest of the boys are on the hillside here. Canada still standing strong. They do have a line of sight on some of these battles.
Every event, it's always North America versus North America as they post up against each other. So Canada looking back over towards USA. But we do have Chinese Taipei right around that same location. Australia is also posted up right over around similar location next to Korea and Great Britain, who is still just gatekeeping out. So really, we're at that stage of Miramar where everybody's just trying to get into these little ravines to find these little sneaky paths. And it looks like USA is in a little bit of trouble, is at least trying to get the res back over here, and Valiate off on the other side, not even in the safe zone yet.
I'll tell you who is in trouble. China, Korea, and Great Britain are looking directly at them. They need to make their way out of the compound. The blues on the back. They have to move. Keep an eye on that kill feed, because honestly, I think we'll be seeing them go down any second. I'm just seeing Tracer Fire laying down from afar. Summer, he's been caught off. December 12th knocks himself out, jumps out the vehicle. They're all falling. Michael cleans up the kill, picks up Summer. 1 point moves towards him. 2 now for Great Britain. Pio, though, he smells blood. Korea, they want to get involved in this, because those players out in the blue, for them, unless they give it up and deny points to other... Stolen! Okay.
I was expecting that one. You could see both guys had moved back down there. Pio was looking on one angle, Michael on another. China is just locked down. Godvi is on no life, just trying to stay alive. Nope, he's not even going to get that off. Now it's just Mad 98, and this is bad. There is nowhere to go, man.
I mean, what can you do here? You don't want to run out of there, because all you're going to do is just give points to your opponents. You know there's a full wall of 2 teams there, so you just need to sit it out and hope to God one team dies before you.
Oh, but look at Pio. Is he going for a reposition? Has he given up and said, okay, we know China's going to die, and looking back now next to Great Britain, he might have a high ground angle onto it. USA finding themselves in a little bit of trouble. Look back on the hillside, already has one member down and out, so that's now everything on Baja's back as he's just trying to throw down a smoke, get something out of this, at least time to get some meds up, but Leo's looking back around on this angle. I mean, it's just Baja at this stage now.
K-Mines came in and just whipped that one up, so Sharky, that actually moves the point towards him. Canada, smell this one. There's blood in the water, they want more. China's gone, 14th place. Great Britain moving onwards. Turkey now to fall. Argentina, I was worried about them, but honestly, it's not a big deal. They're doing well. 6 more, he goes down as well. That's an instant confirmation of the knock from earlier on. The USA, you did just see fall, and looking for some, number 13. Australia, they have made contact with Thailand. This is the main compound that's still inside this circle. Great Britain now have Korea directly behind them.
Oh, here we go. Korea making that push that we were talking about beforehand. Reels back on one angle, very aware of it, throwing out the grenades, trying to get a little bit more space. Has to be very, very cautious, especially when you're playing on these Miramar hills. When you throw out those grenades, they're going to bounce. They're going to roll back down that hillside. Great Britain seems to be aware of the situation, trying to move forward, but Onyx up at the top of it, has an angle. It's a beautiful shot back down towards Michael. That's gonna be a stall. Look at the push from Aqua 5, right up into their face. Preps out the grenade, trying to get a little bit more angle. Aqua 5 still holding this really up by himself. Pio still around the other side of that hill, trying to find the right angle for it. And I gotta say, Great Britain is just trying to run to get out of the situation.
Michael was cooking the grenade. It dropped on the floor and killed him. So that point goes to Korea. There is a response. Pio goes down, but so does Vard. So trade for trade. Miracle smokes are there. The ninjas in pajamas, or at least the two-man are with them.
Finland's pushing back around the other side angle from Great Britain. There is nowhere for Great Britain to go. Look, Samty is looking back on this angle, realizes he is in a lot of trouble, but Korea is still just leapfrogging with their cars down around the side of this. It's just a fight for dominance of this edge of the circle. Reels, what do you got? Do you have the angle back onto it? Samty does go down.
Miraku finds the shot, finds the face, job done. Nades up and over we go. How much more damage? Tiksu forced to disengage from this one. They've overextended. Korea's now seen them. They're directly in front of them. Reels finds Samty. That's the confirmation. The grenade's there. Tiksu off angle. AKM up close and personal. Should they step forward? They'll have to deal with this. Tiksu, if he finds the grenade, the information's there. It could take some health off them. No, it doesn't. But it does give the info. They're lingering on the other side. Reels lowballs the grenade. Vard answers back, but the grenade damage is real. Miraku's down. I really would expect them to push this advantage.
But Australia's off on the other side of Korea, so here come the grenades out on one side of this. You can see Australia's trying to move around through it. Aqua 5 does go down. Alex is still just trying to hold this angle. Finland's still just trying to dismantle Great Britain. It is just a cluster of teams off to the side of this. Insight's just making his push around the outside. Is Ionix the last person up at this point? Yes, he is. He's going for the sprays back over towards Australia. Can he do it? Trying to get him down, somehow survives.
Ionix does survive. 12th position will be Australia's grade for now. Great Britain still going toe-to-toe. Korea going strong. Ionix last man standing. How many more can he take? He keeps going and going. Death after death. Finally, somebody puts him in the grave. So many teams have gone down during that transition. South Korea, that's 11th place for them. UK also 4. They just got ahead of the game with 10th. We're down to 9. No, we're not. We're down to 7. How did I even miss this? So many people died in that one single engagement.
There is just nowhere to go inside of this complex. Germany has just been comfortably sitting out inside the center of the circle, but it has been a bloodbath as teams have just been stacking across, just trying to make it into the safe zone. You can see Finland finally gets back up their reses. Should have a chance to get a little bit of meds off, but you can see third parties are the factor right now. Everybody seems to have a sight line on at least one other team.
Okay, let's calm things down for a second.
Right,
that was a bit of a wild roller coaster, and there was just attention from all angles of this map. Thailand yet to do anything. They've been quite quiet, but they have to move from the safety of that position they've been in all this time. They have to be careful because Jemti does have an eye line on them. So all 3 players from Finland will now focus towards them. Germany has the only last standing compound in this circle. They've been plumb center the entire time, and now they're making the aggressive push. I can see Canada. They're knocking at the door. They're just lingering downwind of them. Germany actually got it. Okay, so Mexico did push out. Duckmans does find contact initially with the guys on the side of Finland. Remember, they're outnumbered 4-3 here.
These shots are insane from Duckmans. He is just tearing apart Finland right now. Gets one of them down. Already gets a lot of damage. Gonna go ahead and fall, but get a second one. And look at that! Duckmans destroys Finland.
He just battered them all!
What is with these solo plays inside this game already? This is just the first game, Rich.
The kid's a freak.
Look at this. All right,
you can't do that to Finland.
I picked Finland to win this, and he just tore them apart. All right, so we got Taipei in a nice position. Germany as well. You can see Brazil got their smokes down, trying to get a little bit more space. Canada still alive, very, very quiet, but it's a bloodbath off to the side. The Blues coming in, Brazil. I don't think you got time to go for those reses.
So Germany do have a really good position, but the problem is that they have literally teams on every single angle. A full 360-degree angle. You can't peek out the window. We're always seeing individuals actually falling because of that. Brazil falling at the wayside. Vietnam will have eyes on them. Thailand lingering on the other side as well. Minuro time in the strike instantly cleans up that one. Gives another point towards them. That's 5. The last stand for Andy. What can he do, though? Okay, so Thailand, again, now they've had the safety of that building removed from them. Is a difficult stance. Yes, Duckmans is there. He can respond. He can go front. Maybe give some body block here, but it looks to me like Canada's actually getting boxed in.
They're in a little bit of trouble. Grenades are coming through. Lots of damage out. They just got a res off, but you can see somehow Maluka is weathering all of these grenades dropped next to him. 4 members of Vietnam are trying to push back over onto this, but a nice push coming out from Canada is going to reveal Malouk, though. He does get one down, but it's all onto Moody now as K-Mine is down as well. This grenade could spell the end of Canada, depending on how it bounces. Moody's going to step up around it, has the angle for it, but Levis is just going to push right up into Moody's face. They know he might be going for the res, trying to deny it. That grenade is going to finish it off, and there we go. Vietnam takes down Canada.
Bye, boys. If the grenade didn't do it, it was the aggressive push that would. Moving up there is perfect time to strike in PUBG. Get your enemy wounded, let them put the smokes up and then press. Because below the smokes, your footsteps are hidden. It's not just a smoke screen to your eyes, but the noise also disengages the ears, so you can make a push like that, and it does work for now.
Chinese Taipei has an angle back over towards Thailand, taking a couple of shots. You can see the smokes are out, but Germany's also participating inside this. Brexco going to go ahead and take away one of these. That's going to be a steal going over towards them. Germany has been in a really interesting position. Sure, they get the circles, but they haven't had a chance to get a ton of kills as of yet because nobody's really pushed into their position, so that's why they're on the hunt right now. Chinese Taipei is trying to push off to one side. Meanwhile, Thailand also pushing back around over this while we've got Vietnam and Andy, the last guy alive for his squad, just kind of looking at everything, praying no one looks his direction.
So Germany have to pick their fights here. They're very sparse and very separated. Duckmans again just adds another body to the tally. Brazil, 5th position, will come through. Sapu finds Duckman, so at least they take out the hunter, the Terminator for now. Put a bit of a stopgap on that one. Chinese Taipei, they'll get themselves back together. Rally the troops, get the health, get yourself back on your feet and prepare to move because they all have to come down this hill. It's going to be a bloodbath anywhere you go. Teams are just lingering on the side of this one. It's kind of a bit of a bowl ditch compared to where this compound is. You have to go up, essentially up and over. 4th position, but a valiant effort. Plenty of kills in the bag will give them some decent points. Germany, though, they are standing strong.
Germany is in a great position right now, but look at Vietnam sitting on 8 kills right now. Got a nice angle to make a poach. Look at Nizam. He's kind of pushed around the other side of this. Everybody knows that they're going to probably have to push around where Germany's at. It depends on how these angles come into play. If we see Chinese Taipei, they are going to have to push over next to Germany. Vietnam does not have to go anywhere, nor does Germany. So all the pressure over on the... This is going to be hard.
The only way they lose this is if they pick too many battles. If they decide to engage one team and they get hit from a third-party angle that they've not smoked up or made themselves
they still have so much
invisible from.
Like, look at the amount of grenades and smokes.
They've not really been in any fights, so their gear's gonna. I think they've had one knock so far. Their gear's gonna be good. Their helmets, their chests. They'll still have any smokes. Their meds. I mean, for Vietnam, you can already see them. They're just looting body boxes, picking up, claiming what they killed. Happy days for them.
My big thing is I'm keeping an eye on Nizam. His reposition could be absolutely huge depending on how we see Germany have to move through this. It's starting to tell that it feels like Germany feels very comfortable in their position with this new circle setup. They know that they're going to be right on the edge of it. So he could be a very influencing factor in this as Germany might try to regroup. He can find that right angle, but it's Vietnam just going back and forth right now, just taking some shots. SR's already down. Vietnam's just spreading back down towards Milk. That's another one down for him. They know they have the numbers, but they have to be cautious as Germany's looking up onto him. That's going to push them right up into 9 kills, about to be 10. Leo knows he's in a little bit of trouble. Germany can't really participate in this fight just due to angles.
And to be honest, I don't think they really want to, because if they go out as an individual, they might lose a single player. So for them, they can watch this. If they can steal a kill or two, then yeah, great, why not? They've got the level 2 eye line of the buildings. They could, 10 kills?
These guys are just stacking these up. Such great shots back over on this angle. Basil's looking off over towards it. You can see Nizam's got himself 4. Hasn't even been involved inside of this fight. Remember, this is just 3 members. Finally, Nizam, with a little bit of an angle. I thought he was going to go for a shot back over towards this, but now it's just Leo hanging out next to that rock.
I'm just seeing Chris casually with an AUG, so he's clearly geared up.
I mean,
the big man's going to be covered in level 3 armor.
Germany's just been chilling for so long now, but the problem comes into play. How much information have they been able to gather inside of this little divot that they're in? They keep hearing these firefights, but they don't have the best sightlines on what's going on around them.
It's Nizam that's the problem.
Exactly.
If he's stayed there the entire time, they won't have a read on him. If he strikes and just forces the dagger at the right time, then... Oh, here we go. Okay, that's damage him.
Oh, but he gets spotted out by Kate. So there we go. That's going to buy a little bit more space for him. Germany got their 4 kills, looking back over towards Vietnam, trying to find the right angle for it. But again, we're in circle 9. Everything's going to condense down to center, and that's exactly what Germany owns right now.
Turkey pressing the advantage. Grenades go up. Gotta be careful, they don't overextend. That's a lot of damage. Sapu does have a grenade. Smokes are there. He will go for them. That's where you'd expect to see a team lingering. It does roll down. He's weak. Chris gets it. The big man goes down. That takes away the level 3 gear. Now they're splitting them at the waist-side. How much more damage they can do? Spins on the pinhead. They've split. They split Germany. They've completely thrown this. What's going on?
Germany, what happened? You had that in the back. Brexco's still alive, but look, we have so many members from Vietnam. Do they have the angle for it? Looks like Levi's is trying to push up onto this. Is he gonna find the angle before the res comes off? Brexco has to step away from it, realizes it's too dangerous. Basil's looking back down on this hillside. Brexco just trying to hold out for it. Grenade's gonna go up a little bit too far. Not finding the angle for it, but there we go! Is that gonna be it? Vietnam walking away with the first game. I would not have expected that.
16 kills. 26 points to open up day 1, game 1. Germany must be absolutely kicking themselves, Matra.
I don't know what they were thinking. It felt like they thought that they had it, but I mean, that was a high ground push. They were pushing into somewhere where they didn't know where the repositions were coming from, and I gotta say,